So back at Oculus Connect 3, we checked out Epic Games' RoboRecall. Now this title was built from the ground up to take advantage of the Oculus Touch controllers, and it was one of the games that got our attention.
Until the recallers have the situation under control, the one thing you absolutely must do...
This game reminds us a lot of the movie I, Robot, and you can see the similarities with the rogue robots that are everywhere. So we take on the role of Agent 34, who's one of the many other automated robots in the TAL Series 9 line. But our task is to recall as many of these robots that have gone rogue.
And that's pretty much the premise with the storyline.
You won't be disappointed by the graphics. It's a visual masterpiece filled with stunning motion capture, detailed robots, and lush environments. You can totally tell there's attention to detail everywhere, and when you consider the intense pacing of the game, the dynamic visual flair definitely keeps the game upbeat and fresh. Now, the game is set in a first-person view, which isn't all that surprising. Moving around is done through the usual teleporting method, and the Oculus Touch controllers act as our hands in the VR world. We have an assortment of weapons and fighting methods at our disposal, so it's super fun taking on waves of enemies. Now, depending on the weapons you use, they'll vary in power and usability. Take for example pistols, which tend to be more accurate with aiming, but they lack power. In contrast though, shotguns are more powerful, but ineffective against long-range enemies. The nice thing though is that enemies will drop their weapons once they're destroyed as well, so we can use them as well to our advantage. There are times when we have to use hand-to-hand combat. We can do things like grab robots and tear off their limbs piece by piece. And when you get good at this, you'll be able to do things like grab two robots simultaneously, smash them, and then throw their mangled bodies back at other opponents. The toughest part about the game is orienting ourselves in the VR world. Now, this is done by using either of the analog sticks on the controllers, but the problem we have is when we teleport and orient ourselves so we're facing the opposite side of the Oculus Rift's two tracking sensors. It's a blind spot for sure, so when our body covers that line of sight for the controllers, the tracking gets a little bit buggy. Obviously, a third tracking sensor would fix this, but if you don't have that luxury, you'll have to reorient yourself constantly so you're facing the sensors.
But best of all, I managed to play through at least an hour of gameplay straight without feeling sick once, so if you are prone to motion sickness or VR sickness, you're not going to really experience that much here.
The $30 cost in picking up RoboRecall is worth every penny. Epic Games has done a bang-up job in delivering a convincing title that's non-stop action every alleyway we investigate. You'll find intense action, hilarious commentary from the robots, and stunning visuals just about everywhere. And even though it can feel repetitive over time, the frenetic action makes up for everything. And there you go, that's a review of RoboRecall. It's definitely a must-buy game if you own the Oculus Touch controllers. So if you guys want to learn more about this title, you can check out our website at VRSource, your source for all kinds of reality.